Our guest speaker tonight is Dean Mark Smith. He is a graduate school dean. He received his BS from MIT and MS and PhDs from the Georgia Institute of Technology, all in electrical engineering.
At one time, a long time ago, I was a graduate student, and I had a tremendous amount of fun in that position. As a matter of fact, it was the most flexible time in my life, and it was ironic because the one thing that was most prevalent on my mind was graduating. I just wanted to graduate. Little did I realize that after I graduated, why all of that freedom that I had before just went away. So value the time that you have as graduate students. So I look back on it very fondly. One of the greatest joys of this job for me is interacting with you all and looking and brainstorming about what we can do. Let me just say just a few words about the graduate school. Everyone who is in the graduate school or is studying for a graduate degree, master's degree, or PhD degree is enrolled in the graduate school, not in the departments, right? Authority to administer the programs and everything is delegated through the graduate school. So, we are all part of the same entity. This just gives you an idea of the breakdown with respect to enrollments on a college level. So you can see that our largest programs are in engineering and science. Management has a fairly healthy graduate population, agriculture, and some of the smaller schools, consumer family sciences. Now, we've had a change in the graduate school, so the slide has not been updated with respect to that. But that just gives you a feeling for the way the enrollments are. Our graduate school is spread out over 5 campuses. How many of you knew that? I'm expecting to see a bunch of hands go up. How many of you can name all of our campuses? All right. So we have a campus. Our next largest enrollment is on the Calumet campus. It's a very nice. All the campuses are really very nice if you ever get a chance to go there. And next would be IUPUI in Indianapolis. But this is the largest of the graduate programs that we have. And there are roughly 8,000 students, graduate students on this campus. Okay, 7,980 to be exact according to our full numbers. So we have a sizable number of students here. What do we do in the graduate school? We handle a lot of routine type functions which are necessary in order to keep the programs going. We handle admissions, so all of the records involved in admissions files and so forth are kept here. We have a records office that keeps track of important things like your plans of study and the filing of those plans, your preliminary exams, your defense. We file your thesis and keep that archived and so forth. So these are the kinds of things, those kinds of records are kept in the graduate school. We also have a substantial recruiting activity where we go to a variety of different fairs and look at strategies that where we can attract the best and brightest students to Purdue University on a centralized basis. So there are efficiencies in doing that. We maintain a website and so forth to try to provide information. We do surveys and assessment. So we survey you to find out what you thought, what your experience was like, where we need to improve, and then we try to make those improvements. We work very closely with the departments to try to do that. It is my goal to meet with every department head in a cycle of 1 year and provide feedback that we get from you through the surveys so they know what you say and they can respond to it. And I think I'm going to make it this year. It's tough because there's 70 departments, 70 plus departments, but I think we're on schedule to do that. And we also do program reviews. This is something new that we're starting, but every 5 years, maybe 6, that part hasn't been locked in yet, all of the graduate programs will undergo a review with the idea of understanding the strengths and weaknesses and making the program stronger. So that's something that will be administered through the graduate school. Our policies and so forth are formulated through the Graduate Council, which is a group of representatives from all of the colleges that help set policy. So we try to be understanding and thoughtful in the policies that we set, and we have the president of this organization sits on that council, and we do a good job. We try to do a good job of listening so the policies do make sense. I'm going to just highlight a few programs, and I've already been asked to speak for, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, and not 60 minutes, so nobody should get nervous or anything like that. I'm just going to spotlight a few programs, and then maybe open it up for questions to see if you all have any. So the first program I'm going to talk about is interdisciplinary programs. And this is exciting to me because a lot of the new stuff that's out there, the real exciting opportunities, solving the world's problems, changing the world, are not locked in a narrow discipline, but they span lots of disciplines. And if you want to be a part of that, you really need to have a structure in place where you can do that, where you can have a thesis that's broader than just something that's in a discipline. So we want to provide those kinds of opportunities for you, not steer everybody in that direction, but provide those kinds of opportunities for you. So the graduate school has an interdisciplinary programs office, which is structured to try to provide some of those opportunities. And the enrollments have been increasing. Right now we have about 500 students in that program, and we're probably going to stabilize somewhere around 600 students or so. So if you have an interest in interdisciplinary studies, I would encourage you to ask questions and see whether or not you'd like to get involved. Diversity and inclusiveness. It is very important for us to have a student body that reflects the world and reflects the demographics of our community. And so to provide that environment, we pay attention to that, and we try to recruit so that we have a diverse student environment. So this is just a plot of the growth in underrepresented minorities on our students. Now, this is of the domestic students. So if you look at our student population in rough percentages, about 60% of our students are domestic students from the United States, and about 40% are international. We have very strong international representation. This is wonderful, because we represent the world. This is very nice. Within the United States, underrepresented minorities are a smaller fraction. African Americans are about 5.5%. Native Americans are 0.5%. That's an area where we can do better. Asian Americans are 6.5%. Hispanic Americans are 4.3%. So we're trying to get the right balance here. What's also interesting is when we look at our international decomposition. Now again, 40% are international. That's a lot of students. The majority of those students are from Asia. All right, so you see the breakdown here. If you look at the larger part of the pie there, 76% are from Asia, many from India and China. Those are our two largest representative countries. Korea has a very sizable percentage, and the rest are in other. Where we have a smaller percentage are drawing from South America, from Europe, and from Africa. And so we're going to try and balance that a little bit, to try to recruit a little more from Africa and from South America and from Europe. Okay? We're not out of line or out of balance, but we can improve the balance a little bit better. We also are in a position to award fellowships, and that's always nice. It's nice to give out money. You feel good when you give out money. We wish we had more money to give out, but we have a fair amount, about $5 million a year, and so that's a sizable amount. And we have them divided up into a variety of different types of fellowships. Some of these fellowships are at the front end to help recruit students at the PhD level. One fellowship, the Billsland Doctoral Fellowship, is at the back end to help students complete. We have some fellowships for master's degree students. They come in a variety of different flavors, all right? But those are out there. If you go to the website below, you can find out all the information. Roughly about 8% of our students are funded through fellowships. The majority of our students are funded through RA-ships and then TA-ships. Another activity that we do, you're probably aware that the federal government requires now, National Science Foundation, NIH, requires that students who are doing research, scientific research, have some training in responsible conduct of research. That's so that people don't make terrible decisions when dealing with human lives. This wouldn't be good. We all want to do the right thing. And so we provide training. So we oversee a lot of this training in concert with the Office of the Vice President for Research. And so we offer a number of workshops that deal with things related to responsible conduct of research. The other reason why you want to make sure that you do your research well is you can get written up in the papers for doing bad things, and so we wouldn't want any of that negative stuff to happen to any of you. By the way, these workshops that we put on generally tend to have very good reviews. Students like them. We also do a bunch of professional development workshops. When you graduate, we have absolute confidence that in your disciplines, you are being taught all the things that you need to know in order to be a great disciplinary expert. But there are a bunch of things outside of the discipline that are important for career success. And disciplines don't generally feel, justifiably so, that there's enough room in the curriculum to squeeze these extra but very important things into the curriculum. So we provide that. We don't force you to do it, but consider this official and strong encouragement to look at this list, all right, and think about signing up for one of these workshops, because they are designed to really help you have that little edge when you get out there in the workforce, so that the Purdue name is distinguished above all others. That's really what we want to say. So one of my favorites here is speed networking, which is kind of like the speed dating. But here you get practice giving your elevator pitch. How you describe to others in a crisp, clean way, not verbose, to the point, what it is that you do in a way that creates excitement. You describe what you do, and the other person, when they finish, says, wow, what an interesting person. I mean, that's what you want to be able to do. And it takes a little bit of practice. And so anyway, students who participate in this really like it. All of the professional development workshops get high marks. So I encourage you to consider that if you have not thought about signing up. Another thing that we look at is time to degree. We would like students to graduate quickly. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love you all, and it's not like we want to get you out of the house, but we recognize you have careers ahead of you, and you shouldn't be spending years and years and years in your graduate work at Purdue. So these numbers reflect average time to degree by discipline. Now you have to understand, these are average times to degree. There are many, many students who graduate in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But there are also some that balance in the other direction who sort of take a little bit of time having so much fun here, I'm in no rush to get out, and let's string it out for 9, 10, 11 years. We try to push to get them to move a little faster. So this is something that we pay attention to. We also look at the reasons for why students take a long time to graduate and why some students don't graduate. We have many students who start out in a PhD program, for example, or in a master's degree program and don't finish. Master's degree, our completion rate is about 83%. Okay? But at the PhD level, the completion rate is about 62%. Now, a lot of that, I shouldn't say a lot because I haven't really looked at the numbers, but I do know that some of that has to do with how we count when you declare you're a PhD student. We have a lot of students who may sign up for a PhD on record, but they really haven't made their mind as to whether or not they want to get a PhD or they want to get just a master's degree. So this we do know, and that represents some noise in the number. But nonetheless, we would like to pay attention to the completion problem. And all of those students who sign up, we'd like to get as many of them through as possible. So we understand what the causes are for this. We've surveyed this, we've consulted with the national bodies, and financial is one. And so we're working on increasing support that we can provide. Mentoring is another. This is something that's under our control. So we have mentoring programs now. We're working with departments to try to increase that, including peer mentoring, so that you get good advice and we can help you navigate your way through the programs. Family and non-financial issues, there's not a whole lot a university can do there. So some things are within our control, some things are not. But the things that are in our control, we're working on. One program in that line is our ombudsman program. Dr. Atkinson, as you know, is our ombudsman, but we also have some peer ombudsmen who are there to help you with any issues that you have. Please help me spread the word around to all graduate students. Sometimes there are little issues that you're wrestling with, trying to find an advisor, or maybe there's some small disagreement that you have with some professors on some issues that are delaying you. Whatever the thing may be, the peer ombudsman can help you find a solution, right? They can help you explore what your options are. And so, even if it's small, feel free to take advantage of these kinds of services, because we think that they can help.